I'm going to show you 3 of the most common cuts you will see in recipes. I'm also going to talk about why you might choose to cut an onion one way versus another for those times when you're cooking but not following a recipe. First, I'm going to show you how to dice an onion. When a recipe calls for chopped onion, it's the same thing as a dice. Working with a sharp knife, start by removing the end of the onion. Removing the bottom end of the onion gives you a flat surface to rest the onion so that you can cut it in half without it rolling around. When dicing, be sure to keep one end of the onion intact, and that will hold everything together. And then remove the peel. Chopping an onion like a pro is as much about precision as it is efficiency. By efficiency, I mean paying attention to where you're putting your hands and where you're putting the cut food, and then where you're putting the uncut pieces. The way that I move the food across the cutting board resembles the letter V, where the bottom of the V, where the pointed end is pointing towards where I'm standing. With the onion in the 3 o'clock position, start by making the horizontal cuts. Depending on the size of your onion, it's okay to only get 2 or 3 horizontal cuts. Don't feel like you need to get 4 or 5. I'm pressing down on the top of the onion very lightly with my non-dominant hand, and I'm slicing through just shy of the end of the onion because I don't want to come all the way through the other side. You'll notice I moved the onion to the 6 o'clock position, and now I'm making my slices. When making my slices, I like to lift the knife all the way off the cutting board so that I have room to clear the onion. Returning the onion to the 3 o'clock position, now you're ready to make your dices. It may be unnatural at first, but you want to get into the habit of pressing the knife down and sliding straight forward away from your body. The dice is really great for when you want to sweat an onion as like the foundation to a stew or a curry or just a sauté. You'll see up in the left corner I have a recipe where I'm making chicken masala where I've sweated an onion with some ginger and garlic. Now let's talk about how to slice an onion, and I'm going to show you the 2 most popular ways of cutting an onion. To start, I've removed the end, and then I'm going down the center to have the onion. I want you to notice these grow lines on the onion because that's going to help determine which way we're going to cut it. So let's start with the sauté slice. This is the slice where you remove both ends of the onion. So I'm going to peel it, and then what I'm going to do is look at these onion lines, and we're going to cut with the lines. So we're not going to cut away from the lines, we're cutting with the lines. I'm using a claw or tucked under fingertips, and that's to help guide the blade of my knife as I'm making these cuts. And I'm kind of following the lines that are right on the onion to kind of give me a sense of how thick I want my pieces. Sauté slice, as the name implies, is really great for when you're cooking over high heat. So when you're sautéing onion, it's an all-around great cooking onion slice. When I get to the end of the onion, if it's too hard to hold it, I just like to knock it over, and then you can continue with your slicing from there. With a sauté slice, when you're cooking the onion, you're not going to be releasing quite as much moisture as you would if you cut the onion against the grain. So it's a great all-around cut for higher heat or medium heat cooking where you want the moisture to be still in that onion. And you'll notice with the sauté slice that all of the pieces are evenly cut so that they cook at the same rate. Next, I'm going to show you a cut that I call the sandwich slice. You might also think of it as the salad slice. And so the grow lines of the onion are now going to be turned. You're going to turn the onion to the 3 o'clock position, and you're going to cut against the grain. And you can remove both ends of this onion, or you can leave one end intact. It doesn't really matter for this particular cut. So you'll notice with the shape of the sandwich slice is that the pieces are slightly wider, and the shape of those pieces are great for just garnishing in a salad, so not really for cooking as much. And they do release a little more moisture because you're breaking up the cell wall of the onion a little more, so it just kind of lets more of the moisture escape from the onion, which is great for when you're making a salad. And there you have it. You now know the 3 most popular, most common cuts with an onion and what they're used for.